We've got several big systems coming. Who will see snow? Well, we've got a lot going on, so I'll be telling you all about it. But in this video, I'm tracking southern flooding and storms with those relentless systems continuing through the weekend. Who will see snow the next week or two? Details on that as well as an overall pattern update as warmth will dominate everything in this video, so stick around. Here we go. We're taking a look now at your evening water vape imagery as of your Tuesday evening here. This is on our January 23rd. Low pressure system that brought that ice storm from parts of the mid-south to the Midwest, now tracking through the Great Lakes. New low pressure system bringing a mostly rain event now into parts of the mid-south, and this one triggering some flooding with that convection into parts of eastern Texas as well as northern Louisiana. If you enjoyed the rest of this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, but let's get right into the rest of it. Alright, here we go. We're going to take a look at that Storm Prediction Center. Day 2 outlook here as of your Wednesday, January 24th. This is what we're going to be seeing for our severe weather outlook from Corpus Christi and Houston there in Texas on over to southern Mississippi, as well as far as southwestern Alabama as well, getting in a level 1 severe weather risk. That pretty much a continuation of our southeast Texas risk that we've got as I'm talking to you on your Tuesday. But a big concern is these flood watches. We've got flood watches in effect from parts of southeast Texas all the way on up through Arkansas into parts of western Tennessee and the Memphis area, even parts of northern Alabama getting in on this. This is for very heavy rainfall, and you can see right on that Arklatex border there in Texarkana zone, we've already got some dangerous flash flooding ongoing as I film this video Tuesday evening. Your flood threat into our Wednesday, it kind of shifts off the Arklatex and moves a little bit further east, but with continual rainfall, this threat will last for a little while. So from Houston to New Orleans, up to Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, and Nashville there in Tennessee, all these areas and areas in between need to really be on high alert for that flooding potential. Here's your future radar to time everything on out for you as we make our way through this evening. As of your Tuesday here, 11 o'clock Central Time this evening, showers and storms pushing through northeast Texas, northern Louisiana, as well as southern Arkansas. All these storms might be producing that flood threat as well as those cells continue over the same areas. We'll also be watching the potential for maybe some embedded gusty winds in them. We'll have to watch some of these cells back through Austin, Texas, all the way on down to Corpus Christi into the midnight hour of tonight going into our Wednesday morning. Could see a brief spin-up tornado or some damaging winds and small hail in those cells as well as the system. The northern end of it as far north as the Midwest at this point, but you can see into the overnight hours, this is when we're most concerned about maybe a lower end severe weather threat as some Boeing segments try to make their way on through Houston, but again, it's very disorganized convection here as it heads on over towards that Louisiana border. Again, I'm noting these same states over and over again. That's because everything is just kind of cycling on over again and happening in the same areas, and you can see how that continues through southern Arkansas, through parts of western Louisiana into our 7 a.m. time frame here on your Wednesday. Also some moderate rain up through parts of Tennessee on up into the Ohio Valley and even southern Great Lakes region as well. We'll have to watch this line. I think the HRRR model really just showing you how heavy that rain is. A lot of people might think that this is a severe weather line and a damaging outbreak of storms. We'll have to monitor the potential for a few spots that see some gustier winds out of this, but this is not going to be any sort of severe weather outbreak as it looks like right now, and I'm not expecting it to erupt into anything like that. This is just a very big line of heavy rain. Extends from the Gulf Coast up to Nashville into the afternoon hours of tomorrow, but you can see how as most of this line continues to head on off towards the north and east, there's this zone of kind of convection that continues just kind of flattening out and hanging around here into southeast Texas. Some of those storms, one, could go a little bit stronger to severe with maybe a low-end tornado threat as we head into our Wednesday afternoon. We're also monitoring the potential for flooding back over there as some showers head on up into the northeast as well. And here we go, 10, 11 o'clock Wednesday night going into our Thursday. Look at this rain continuing. Same areas. Arklatex, Storminess, on up there to Nashville, especially in this zone I just circled right here. That's where our focal point of flooding is going to be Wednesday night going into our Thursday. Here's the forecast rainfall from the Weather Prediction Center through our Thursday afternoon. This is just the next couple of days. Forecast totals are from southeast Texas through central and north central Louisiana, southern Arkansas, as well as western central parts of Mississippi. All these areas are going to be around a half a foot of rain, and I can guarantee you someone's going to get closer to a foot, maybe in that 8 to 12 inch zone. Maybe in northeast Louisiana, that could be a very big focal point there. So keep an eye on that. These totals up to 2 to 4 inches could continue on up into parts of southern Tennessee, Nashville could get a few inches of rain. And 1 inch totals will go as far north as Indiana, Ohio, as well as parts of West Virginia. So be ready for the flood threat, but especially if you live back there down towards Arklatex and Storminess regions there. That's where we're really concerned about dangerous roadway conditions and, of course, creeks coming out of their banks the next couple of days. Here we go. Let's time out this relentless pattern through Sunday again. Here we go. Here's that new system I was just timing out in the short range for you, with rain and storms from parts of Texas and Louisiana. At least some rain on up into parts of the Midwest in our Wednesday morning. The rain band continues up into the Northeast by our Wednesday late day, while we continue to see kind of some of that precipitation linger around here. And again, this is why we're so concerned about the flooding as we get repetitive rounds of that rainfall down here closer to the Gulf Coast. Now, as we continue to progress this, look at this. It looks like with the Euro model, again, this is not far out. Pretty high confidence in this. We get a lingering boundary behind that previous system. New low forms, more heavy rain. The stage is set for it into our Thursday, and that's where some more of that precipitation comes from the Gulf Coast on up into the Midwest, even the Ohio Valley as well. You can see here showers and storms on the southern end, maybe one or two stronger ones on our Thursday afternoon through the southeast. Again, not really looking at anything feisty enough to cause big issues there. And then as we head into our Friday night and into our Saturday, there's that lingering boundary here that's just been kind of hanging around. It's pretty much a stationary boundary there. And look at how a new low is going to form off of that into parts of Texas and Oklahoma as that southerly flow returns. And look at that. That could bring more showers and storms right along that southern corridor as we head late Friday night going into our Saturday morning. And again, we'll continue to monitor the potential for a few stronger storms, especially with this storm in the zone I just circled there. But again, Storm Prediction Center not highlighting any big dangerous threats over the next several days, mainly just going to be marginally to maybe slightly severe weather. But nonetheless, we'll have to keep a very close watch on that. But again, reiterating this, I am very concerned about that flooding threat as the top thing. This is everything that we see through Sunday afternoon, so including our near-term rains, but also everything through this weekend. Some totals there, again, into parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, it's pretty much likely that we see 6 to 12 inches of rain in those zones. But you can see 2 to 4 inch totals extending well on up into parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, into the Carolinas as well. Just a big swath of rain, but don't even want to miss you up there into parts of southern Michigan, on over into the southern New England zones. An inch or two of rain possible there as well, and some marginal flooding concerns there. Not out of the question. Any snow on the way? Let's track it with the European model precip tracker here. Here we go. You can see as we make our way again through these systems, maybe the next day or so into our early Wednesday morning, we'll be watching some light snow up there in the parts of the Tug Hill Plateau of New York, and in parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as on down into southern New England, some snow there. Also some light snow back into parts of the Rockies, including parts of northwestern New Mexico and the Four Corners region. Again, we continue to see relentless systems. This new one that we've got, again, causing that flood threat closer to the Gulf Coast on our Wednesday. Could we see some brief sleet or freezing rain up there in Iowa and southern Wisconsin? Yes. But overall, we'll be focusing on snowfall concerns with heavy rain as well, back on towards the west coast and in to parts of the Four Corners. Now, continuing to play this on out, as we make our way into our Thursday, some snow continuing there on the northern end of this new system. Again, maybe parts of Maine, but snow is pretty much going to be confined to Canada and the Mountain West overall the next few days. But when things begin to get a little interesting is once we go beyond our Friday system. You can see more rain heading through the Great Lakes and Northeast there. Again, maybe another shot of snow for Maine, where some totals could rack up over maybe a half foot of snow with time. But you can see here, look at this new system as we make our way Saturday going into our Sunday. Look at how that snow really looks pretty heavy there through Indiana, Kentucky, into parts of Ohio, as well as on up there into parts of New York and Pennsylvania. That could be the setup that we need for a quick nor'easter-like system here riding on up the East Coast. And again, that's also the same one that's going to bring more of that heavy rain through parts of the South. But look at how that snow drags all the way to places like New York City as this picks on up. Snow onto the southern Maine coastline. We'll be very closely watching that for sure over the next few days as we kind of get closer to that. And I'll be keeping you updated here on One Nation weather as well. It does look like high pressure, though, taking control of the weather pattern after that. So we're not going to have to be looking at any sort of weather system. And you can see that perfectly here on the 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook there from the Climate Prediction Center. You can see heaviest rain going to be along the west coast, and in fact quite heavy rainfall, flooding concerns, high elevation snowfall there as we head towards the very end of January and into early February, the first couple days of it. But we're really going to be watching the potential for that dry air kind of coming on in with high pressure moving into parts of the Great Lakes especially, but really all over the east. Those brown colors really indicating dry air taking hold. What's also going to be taking hold is ridging at that point, 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlooks. Those reds are almost maxed out up there into that maroon shade over parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, on up into Wisconsin and Michigan. Very typical El Nino-like pattern, though, as warmer air kind of is mostly confined in terms of compared to average over the north central. Of course, everybody going to be warming on up from what we've been seeing with that Arctic air, though. You can already see it this week ahead of storm systems as we go through our Friday. Temperatures 15 to 25 degrees above normal there through most of the Midwest, Southeast, as well as on up there, even in parts of Canada as well. I know I just kind of jumped over regions randomly, but you can see here as we make our way into next week as well. This is as we pretty much head towards the very end of January. High pressure ridging really going to start to strengthen there in southern Canada. That's going to make its way into the Great Lakes, and we're going to quickly see those temperature anomalies really max on out there, especially over parts of the Dakotas and Minnesota, just like that Climate Prediction Center outlook shows. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel so you get all those updates. I do community posts when I don't make videos. That's it for this one.